Good morning, Ram fam. Thank you for tuning in for this edition of El Cafecito. With us today, we have Leonor Constancio with the Common Marketing Department joining us today. How are you today, Lenore?
I'm doing great. I've got my coffee and
Aw-
I'm ready to get through this.
Awesome. Us too, enjoying it this morning. So to begin, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to talk to a human being today.
Oh, that's good.
that's not here at home that I've been locked up with.
We can go a bit stir crazy every now and then.
Sure.
For you, what would you consider your best strength?
Optimism. I tend to see the glass half full rather than half empty.
That's really good. What life skills are rarely taught but extremely useful?
I think patience. Nobody teaches you how to be patient. And I think in life, it's really important to be patient and to wait and to see how things work out, and instead of trying to get everything answered in a hurry.
That's a really good way to look at it. I think that patience is one of those things that it's hard, it's very hard. It's a very hard lesson to learn, but when you learn it, it's something that will always benefit you in the future.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Starbucks drink?
Well, I'm boring. I just like a vanilla latte. Simple, but delicious.
That's a fair point. I think every now and then I jump between drinks, but I think my go-to is definitely just a nice coffee. So nothing wrong with keeping it simple.
Yeah.
If you were famous, what do you think it would be for?
If I was famous, and we're going to pretend here, I would be a piano virtuoso, because I love the piano. I don't know how to play it. And I absolutely love it. And I think I took a class once and learned, and you really got to practice. And so I admire the ability for someone to be able to play with both hands and remembering the notes and the chords and everything. It's amazing.
It must be a definite talent. So.
All right, I got the next 5. Who is your biggest inspiration?
I'm going to have to go with my big brother. I really admire him and the way that he lives according to his principles. He stands by them, and he lives by example, both personally and professionally. I admire him and how he's a good family man, a good dad, strict, whatever. Stands by his values, but then he has an amazing career, and he's driven, and he's very professional. So it's like he's got this balance in both worlds, and I just admire that a lot.
That's very sweet. So I have a 30-second challenge. How did you develop a passion for communications and marketing?
Okay, short story, 30 seconds. I actually fell into it. I had another career. I was working for a yearbook publisher, and I'd been there 15 years, and I was going to retire. But then technology happened, and we changed the way we do pictures. We changed the way we lay out pages. I mean, everything changed, and I became a displaced worker. They shut down the facility here in San Angelo, and I actually had to start all over again. And so I was fortunate enough to be hired on at ASU as an office administrator. And that's where in this office, in communications and marketing. And that's where I learned about everything else. And of course, I was not able to go to school when I was fresh out of high school. So I also then was able to work towards my degree while working and learning all of this. And now I'm working on my master's. And so I just love everything. I've been with the office, I think I'm going on 13 years now. And I've learned everything on the job. That's how it happened.
Yeah, that's awesome. With your experience, what advice do you give to those that are interested in your area of work?
I would tell you never to stop learning. In marketing, the way you do things one day can change the next day. There's all these things happening, and they're happening very quickly. So you always want to be able to learn. And then I also do design work. And one of the things that I always tell student interns that come in and work with me is, don't take it personal when someone doesn't like your design, because people don't like everything you do. And it's not about you. The goal is to listen to what they're telling you they want, and then use your skills to bring their vision to life, not your vision. What are they wanting? What are they asking? Kind of use your listening skills. And remember, it's really not about you. Let it just go. Don't take it personal.
Yeah, definitely a learning experience with that for sure. Well, speaking on advice, what do you what advice do you have right now during this period of online courses and physical isolation?
Well, I'm also taking classes. I'm finishing up my my master's. I was supposed to graduate in May. Woohoo!
That's awesome.
But I actually like it because I live a very busy life. I mean, I'm always working. When I'm not working, I'm doing homework. I'm staying up late. I've got to take care of my family. And so it's go, 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 go. And so I kind of enjoy the stop, because there's a lot of time now that I can focus. I can, instead of doing homework last minute and doing your projects last minute, I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. So I have more time, and I feel like I'm resting and getting a lot of rest. I'm still working from home, but it's not as hectic and rushed.
Yeah. What is the most out of character thing you have ever done?
Okay. I'm not a good swimmer. I would probably drown if I wasn't next to an edge. And I've always been scared since I was a little girl of water. And there's probably some childhood trauma there that I don't remember that caused that. But about a year ago, I went kayaking, which was completely, scary. And it was windy and the waves were going, and I did it. And I had fun and I didn't drown. And so that was totally out of character. I haven't been back since, but at least I did it one time.
Heck yeah.
I was a lifeguard for 5-6 years, and I don't think I would have the guts to kayak, honestly. So that you haven't went up on me in that regard.
All right, that's all right.
Can you describe yourself to us in 3 words?
Okay, that's easy. Creative, optimistic, and fashion lover.
I could tell, because I really like the portraits of the dresses in the back. Those accents, those are really
good. I love that. I dress up like that every day if I could get away with it.
What would you consider is your favorite food?
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas. That's a good pick. That's so versatile.
I haven't had enchiladas in a long time either. So I need to do the takeout order thing.
I have definitely finessed on all of those, the coupons and things during this time. That's one good one.
But the best ones come from the real Mexican restaurants, though, because you could go to Rosa's, but those aren't good.
It's hard to come by. What is the most recent show you've binge watched?
Recently, since I have so much time now, not stressed out, I binged watched All American on Netflix. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I've heard of it, but I haven't really.
It's amazing. You should watch it.
Definitely gonna put it on my list now.
Yeah.
What is your favorite hobby?
Design. I know that's what I do, but I absolutely love it. When I'm not designing for work, obviously, when I come home, I like to do design for my family. My family always wants me to do invitations or weddings and things like that. And then I like to design my own wall hangings for my house, just of pictures that I've taken, and just kind of do canvases to hang. Instead of spending the money at an interior design store, I can make it myself.
I agree. I think there's definitely the little bit that we do here in our office. There's definitely a therapeutic benefit to design, from my experience at least. But that's really cool. Another 30-second challenge. 30 seconds or less, if possible. Describe ASU and our community to us in that time.
30 seconds. I would tell you that we use the words Ram Fam a lot, but it's not a gimmick, it's real. Everywhere you go, everybody just embraces you, whether it's staff, whether it's faculty, even the students themselves and student organizations such as yourselves in the Multicultural Center. We just love everybody, and we want everybody to be happy, and we want everybody to succeed.
Just part of the Ram Fam.
That's right.
Yeah, heck yeah. I love that answer. Alrighty. So what is the last thing you have Googled?
I was looking up the CBS Sports commercial that says "We miss you." So I looked it up because I saw it on TV, and you know, we're always doing things in the office creatively. And I was like, I gotta find that. I gotta find that and show it to our staff. We gotta do something like that.
What is the most funniest childhood memory you have?
Well, I would tell you that the funniest thing, and it's probably dorky, is going to be that learning to ride a bike, because I had to learn on somebody else's bike that was really super tall and I was really short. And so my legs could barely get the pedals and barely find the brakes. And I would always crash into the same bush. I'd go straight into the bush. I don't know why, but I'd always go straight into it. And I just remember that.
Yeah, being short kind of is not the funnest thing, especially when there's like a bike height difference from your legs to the pedal.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Definitely it is. What is your biggest phobia?
That's easy. Large, gigantic cockroaches.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely scary.
And when they fly.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun. That is very terrifying. Who is the most creative person you know?
The most creative person I know is my grandson. He is 10 years old, and that little kid can make anything out of cardboard. He will design a Broadway stage, and he'll grab just clothes and turn them into costumes. He'll set up a puppet stage and create a whole scene, bring out the laptop and play all kinds of things as part of his background music.
That is really cool.
Right. I was like, you don't want to buy him a Christmas present because this kid makes everything so much better using everything around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is the best thing that has happened to you today?
I got mail, actual physical mail. Somebody came to my door, and I'm like, who's at my door? It was the mailman.
What is something that you think everyone should at least do once in their life?
I'm going to go with travel to Europe. Take a study abroad course if it's possible, and go to Europe, go to Paris, get up on top of the Eiffel Tower, and just experience it. It's amazing.
I've definitely wanted to. Heard great stories from everyone who's done it, so that's just another one to add to the list now.
Yeah.
What is the oldest thing you own?
Not gonna lie, got it right here. This is an album, Sean Cassidy. I was like a teen idol of his. And I still have it.
The craziest thing is my grandma used to be in love with him. So I was like, I kept looking at it and kind of like peering off to the left. And I would see, I was like, I wonder if it's the same thing. And I was like, no way. That's crazy.
She was hip.
What makes you happy?
what makes me happy? Going on vacation with my family, because you can go on in different places, or I've been different places, but it's not the same, because you always want to bring your family, or you want to tell them all about it, and bringing them with you, you experience it together, and you forget about everything else back home. So
that's a good answer. Excuse me. If you could interview anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I would interview Tim Tebow. He had a lot of adversity when he was trying to play in the NFL, but he stuck to his principles, and I really admire that. And I just kind of wonder, I really want to talk to him and just kind of ask him all kinds of crazy questions.
I feel like he'd give good answers.
Yeah.
Someone who's convicted within those principles, like you said. It's really
Yeah.
good. If you were given $5 million to open a small museum, what kind of museum would it be?
It would be a fashion museum. I would like to go back into the history of how clothes were designed, why people wore them back whenever to today, and just kind of go through it and all those years, because we always go backwards and pick up things that we were done. And I just love I love shoes, I love purses, and I love dresses.
That'd be really cool. It'd be something I'd want to learn, because there are just different aspects that affect trends and things like that. Like,
yeah, and there's reasons why they're made the way they are, and I just would love to learn about that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. That's very interesting too, just to see how it evolved over time, for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty, what is the biggest realization that you have about yourself during social distancing?
That I'm lonely, because I'm really very social person, and I thought I would be okay with it for a little while. Like, hey, I get to work from home. I don't have to get up. I'm bored. I seriously am bored. I need to have a reason to get up and get going and doing things, and I'm just not going to survive in this world. It's like we're living in the twilight zone,
Right? That is true. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Alrighty, what truth or dare?
Let's go with truth.
Truth. Have you ever accidentally walked into a door or a wall or a building?
Yes. I'm blind. And when I don't have my contacts on, which is usually in the evenings, I let my eyes rest, and I can't see. And there I am turning all the lights off to leave a room, and I've run into the door. And then in the back of my head, I'm thinking, how am I going to explain if I get a bruise? Because people aren't going to believe me. They're going to say, Leonor, you've been beaten up. You're not telling the truth. No, I really ran into the door.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Yes, but I can feel like it has at least happened to every person at least once.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the scariest movie you have ever seen?
Okay, I'm really bad at movie names. Okay, and I hate scary movies, but my husband loves to watch them. And there was one where this girl was living, they always live by themselves, and they never have anybody. That's why social distancing is not going to work for me. But this thing came out of the wall, and it was like crawling on the stairs and trying to get her, and eventually it killed her and took her into the wall. I don't know what movie it was.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Yeah. That would be definitely a scary movie. I'd probably scream. So yeah.
Yeah, it gives you nightmares.
Okay, so this is a tricky question. What's better apart than a whole?
Cinnamon rolls.
That's a good answer.
Tearing them apart, when they come apart.
Alrighty, Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus?
I'm gonna go with Netflix. I like Hulu, but Netflix, yeah, Netflix.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
What would you consider is your late night food craving?
Well, when I go to sleep, I go to sleep. So I don't get hungry, but I get thirsty. I wake up and I'm like always thirsty. So water.
Water. Hey, good choice. You believe in ghosts?
No,
No?
no, no, no ghosts and no scary movies.
uh, what advice do you give when considering routines, people's routines?
Um, I like routines. I like being able to know that you're going to do this. I'm very structured and organized, and I just kind of feel like life goes better when you have a plan, and when the day goes better when you have a plan. And so I'm a big proponent of a routine.
I can agree with that. What is something you would like to be remembered for?
Well, that's kind of like a hard question. I don't know. I guess because I started school late, I guess I would want to be remembered as someone who persevered, because I could have easily given up and said, I don't need this. I don't require it. But I think about a lot of people that are out there that maybe they might have a change in a career and they have to start all over. And I want them to know that it's never too late to reinvent yourself, and you shouldn't let your age stop you from pursuing education. I like your dog.
Thank you. If you notice me like fidgeting a little, she's like trying to get me to play with her, so she's like walking back.
I thought maybe she thought my answer was too long.
No, she loves them. She's very judgmental of me, but she loves everybody else apparently. But no, I think that's really good. I think I definitely can see the resilience within your character and your spirit, and I appreciate that.
Good.
What is the one skill you think everyone should learn?
I think everybody should learn how to do sign language. When I was little, I grew up, my cousin, she and I were the same age, and she was deaf. And so she taught me how to do sign language. So I can do hi, how are you, the ABCs. And I think that it gives you an opportunity to be able to engage with people who are deaf, because they live in this world that is silent, completely silent. And every now and again, I'll run into someone, because, not everybody's deaf, but every now and again, I'll run into someone or I'll see someone, and I will make myself go over and say, hi, how are you? Because it just blows their mind that the stranger is coming up and is talking in sign language still. So I say learn it so you can communicate with everybody.
It's definitely something that has come up in my mind previously before, but no, like I would love to, like, considering that, like, if that situation ever arises, like, some of those, not necessarily just within sign language, but with any language where there's those barriers where you can't necessarily communicate with someone because of that language barrier. I would love, it's like, that would be the only reason I'd ever want to be immortal, is so that way, like, I can pick up every language possible, so that way, like, there's no barriers. I can communicate with anybody regardless. But,
sure. I mean, I think it's a great advantage to have, and it keeps you at that level to be able to communicate.
And finally, who do you think we should invite for next week's El Cafecito for 35 questions?
Okay. I think you should invite Coach Chuck Waddington. He's kind of an unusual character. I like him a lot, and he's got a lot of skills. He's also into marketing as well for the athletics department. I'd be curious to see what he's been doing since athletics had to come to a halt. And I'd also recommend Farah Loki, who is an academic advisor out of the College of Business, the North Vincent College of Business. So those would be two people that would be kind of fun to kind of find out about.
Awesome.
Alrighty, guys, that's the last of our questions. Thank you, Leonor, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. Alrighty, MSAP fam, be sure to follow us on social media and tune in next time for virtual El Cafecito. Bye.
Bye, everybody.